Hey everybody, it's Mich here and welcome to my channel. If you're new, thank you for stopping by, and if you are one of my crafty friends and kindred spirits, welcome back. Today is going to be something a little bit different, and I don't know if it's going to be an epic fail or something really good. But I decided that there's a project that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and that is the Rolodex Memorydex collaging. I've had this, actually I had one of the windy ones for years, and then I left a job about probably 5 years ago now, and I gave it to a friend of mine, and now of course I wish I had the actual one. But I've had this box Rolodex for quite a long time. I actually got it at, I think I got it at the Value Village, maybe, I don't know, a couple years ago. So I've had this that I've just been wanting to do little mini collages or something with my Rolodex. So when I was looking at some projects that I could do, I came across the Memorydex, which is, I believe it was originally the Memorydex kind of system was Heidi Swap. And I looked around for one of her actual Memorydex, I don't even know what it's called, the roller one, and you can't find them anywhere. But I did find a die cut set that I could make one of my own. So I did. So I went on, so I did that, but there's also one you can buy off Etsy, which is a cut file. The only problem was the cut file is for the silhouette, and I have a Cricut. So I managed to cut out, because you have to cut out a lot of circles. I managed to cut out all the circles on my Cricut, but in the cut file where there was score lines, it actually cut my paper. So I then had to go back to this one and use this to cut out a few things. But now you don't need this at all to do this collage that we're going to do. You can use index cards, but I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. The thing that I would like to do is do a collage challenge. Now I've set this up to go weekly for the rest of the year, but we wouldn't have to, you can do whatever you want. All right, so what I've also done is I've created a Facebook group. Now I know a lot of you may not be on Facebook, and I'm not on it personally, as in posting personal information. I do have an account, but I'm not on it very much. But I did create a group called Mich Crafty Community. And one thing to note, unless we've spoken through email or whatnot, I will not invite you, okay? You can try to friend it yourself. It's a private community. Only those that are in the group can see what's going on in the group. But I just wanted you to know that, you know, for security and stuff, unless I've actually said to you, I'm going to send you an invite, then don't accept an invite from me. You need to invite yourself. So I've not done this before. I don't know how the group is going to work, but I've set up this group. And in the Facebook group, the reason that I did it is because I can actually post the prompts as a file in the Facebook group so that you can print it off or write down the prompts for each week. And the other thing about it is by having a Facebook group, you can then post your own, I want to see your creations. And I just thought it'd be a way that we could take our community a little bit further, is all. The other thing, somebody was asking about my address. If you ever want to, know my address for Happy Mail or give me yours, you can email me at mishcrafty8664@gmail.com, and that is always in my description box below. All right. So the way that I felt the challenge could work is that I'm going to do the Memorydex, a Memorydex card or a Rolodex card or both. So today I'm going to do both. Hopefully this video won't be massively long. But if you don't have a Rolodex or Memorydex, you can do this on playing cards, ATC cards. You can do it in a notebook or index cards. And it's very simple. Each week there's going to be a word and then a prompt. So for this week, the week of April the 13th, the word is love and the prompt is a postage stamp. So with the word, you can use that as a phrase to go on your collage. You can use the word itself. You can just use it as an inspiration and put no words at all. The word basically for me was just to focus my sentiment, I guess. And then the prompt is I just wanted to write some things that sometimes I forget to use in my collages. So next week, the prompt is going to be border. So that could be a border punch. It could be a handwritten border, etc. You can use your imagination. So if you do want to join in, or you just want to join the Facebook group and see what we're posting, I will also be putting pictures of what I do as well. Now, I don't want you to use the Facebook group and not leave your comments. I do love the comments. They do inspire me and motivate me, and they do help with the channel. So I don't want the Facebook group sort of to take over from you guys leaving your comments. I just thought it might be a cute thing for us to do. And like I said, it might end up being an epic fail. But so for this week, like I said, the word is love and the prompt is a postage stamp. So for this week, I've decided to do the Memorydex card as well as the Rolodex. So in my Memorydex, I already cut out a bunch of things that I wanted to add to my collage. So the Memorydex is more going to be like, I guess what I call sort of clean, or I don't know what you'd call it, but not grungy or dark with a lot of distressing and stuff like that. But in my Rolodex, that's where I'm going to be doing more of the mixed media, the distressing, using gesso and stamps and stuff like that. And the other thing that I've decided to do is when I'm doing my cards, not necessarily every week, but I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to make a double, unless of course I'm using, stickers or something that I don't have double, but I'm going to do an extra one that I can mail out to, one of you that may want to do this challenge with me. All right, so for these ones here, you don't have to have, if you are doing the Rolodex, you don't have to have templates and die cuts, but I do actually have a die cut for this one, and it's your file folder, and then it just had a bunch of other little bits and bobs inside it. So I thought I would use that for this week. And then I just went along and just used some of the die cuts and things that I have that I don't often get to use in the run of a week. My main focus the last little while has either been my junk journaling, and of course trying to get my Daphne's Diary out for Fridays and my Marguerite Miller collage out for Sunday. It doesn't leave me a lot of extra time for doing little projects that, I really just want to do. So I just thought this would be a good opportunity for me to use some of my stuff that I have, and the same with you. And I just thought maybe you guys might want to craft along, okay? Or even if you don't want to you want to be part of the community group, you don't want to do this challenge, but you're doing other interesting projects. It'll be a place for, us to post our creativity. Now, it's not going to be for selling things or promoting products. I just want it to be just a share type thing. So we can give it a go, and if it fails, it fails. But nothing lost by trying. Okay, so I'm just getting a few things down for this, and like I said, I kind of pre-planned some of this stuff. I was working on it. Today's Monday. I hope to post this. Can't decide whether it should be we should do this on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So I already do a video for Friday and Sunday. So I'm thinking maybe Wednesday would be good, sort of a midweek. Let's get over the hump day. But we'll see how it goes. Now these die cuts that I'm using for this are ones that I've had for a while. I'm trying not to spend a lot on more craft stuff because, you know, there are things that I would like, and of course we all like to have new stuff. Makes us happy. But it's also good to look at what you have and use the stuff that you have. So this die cut actually is one that I've had for a long time. It's an art by Marlene, and the product number is stencil BM06, and that's where I got the little dies for these little images here. And then, so I'm kind of thinking something, I cut a bunch of doilies. I had this is a die cut set too. And I don't know where I got it. I've had it for a long time. The weather today it's overcast. Looks like it's going to rain. It's one of those heavy gray days. Now, I love rainy days. They're probably my favorite days. But I don't really like just the gray, heavy day. I find my sinuses and wreaks havoc with that. Okay, and then I'm kind of thinking, let's put this maybe there. So I hope you're all doing well. And you're doing little crafty things. Little crafty things always, I don't know, cheer me up, I guess. So when I was cutting out this little die one, the little black one, I had all these bits from this that looked like parts of a rainbow. So I used some of the little off pieces. I'm going to use that to just make a little rainbow arches over here. It's good to kind of look when you do like a die, when you do a die cut, to look at all the waste pieces and see if there's things that you can do with them. Okay, and then, so in this one here, for this card, I'm going to use love in two ways. So one is that I have a little die set that I got at Michael's long time ago that actually cuts out the word love. So I thought we could add that. Now that's just, I've got the white there, but I'm going to do an overlay in black. And then the white background will set this off just a little bit, I think. For sure. Like so. See, that's kind of cute. So I went to IKEA on the weekend. I had this big elliptical in my living room. And as some of you know, my arthritis is, well, it's affecting me a lot. And I just know that I no longer will be, using my elliptical. It just, my hip and my knee just won't let me. So I actually gave it to one of my brothers who came and picked it up. And I have a very small living room. So since that's been gone, my living room just looks so cozy. And I have one of those IKEA chairs, the one that you sit in, and it kind of rocks a bit, and it has a footstool with it. So I've had that for a long time. And the cover, because it kind of sits in the window, by the window, just really faded, and Chester likes to lay on it. And so I thought I'm gonna treat myself. That's just not looking right. I'm gonna treat myself to a new cover. So I went to IKEA and I got a new cover for that. And I also picked up what did I pick up? Picked up a new cover. And I wanted a little side table to go beside it. Maybe, I don't know where this is going. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, it's going to go there. So I went to HomeSense and found a little end table. It had a little something wrong with it. There was a chip off the top of it. So I asked them, it was already marked down. So I ended up getting it for a really good price. So I brought that home, and anyways, I set things up over the weekend, and oh, it looks so cute. Oops, I lost my heart. Just looks so cozy in there. Chester, he has this little perch in the window on top of a calyx type unit, and when I first got him, I got him a sheepskin to go on top of it. And it's only the short one. It's only like, I don't know, 2.5 feet off the ground. So I got him a new sheepskin because the one that he had is just, it's 5 years old. So he deserved a new one too. So we just did some fun little things with the house over the weekend. Getting ready for spring. I also, when I went to get my groceries at Sobeys on Sunday morning, I thought I'm going to treat myself to some flowers. So I bought a little bulb, one of the hyacinth bulbs in purple. They are so beautiful. So I got one of those, and what else? Oh, and I got myself just some little cut flowers, but they were, I don't buy the cut flowers very much anymore, but they weren't very expensive. And they just had some chrysanthemums. I think they were mainly different color. Oh, and a couple rosebuds, pink rosebuds, I think. Okay, so then we have a bit of the bottom of the heart. I am going to go back in a minute and put some rivets on there. So the other thing I have is this Love You, and I thought that could go there, and I made these pencils. So I just thought these were the cutest little things. And to make the pencil, oh, it was a bit of a faff, I'll tell you, because I had to cut out everything here individually. So the die cut that I had for that came with this kit here. And it's this pencil die cut here. So you had to cut out the pencil, and then the eraser, and then the metal thing that keeps the eraser in, and then the wooden bit, and then the lead bit. But I had fun sort of just doing little things. So I kind of want to put that like as in somebody has written, you know, somebody has written love you. Maybe it's that you love yourself, and we should tell ourselves that more because we're worth it, you know? I think that just getting through the day makes you an incredible person these days with all the stuff that's going on in the world today. It is certainly crazy times. But it's, you know, sometimes I get afraid of what's going to go on in the world, and especially living in Canada. And, you know, I'm not going to go on about it, but with what's going on in the United States, it's just sometimes a little bit scary. But then, you know, you can't live in fear, I guess. So, and if you're in Canada, you kind of know what I mean. And if you're in the auto industry, my heart goes out for you. Okay, so we need to give self-love. You are worth it. So this is coming together nicely, and like I said, I've already done one of these, so that's why it's going together quickly. And this one here, if you want to compete in the challenge, this one here will be going out to somebody. And if you are a frequent person who comments, one of my crafty friends, and there's quite a few of you, there are quite a few more addresses I would like to get to send a little card from time to time to thank you for the comments and being supportive. So please email me. And I just think that these leaves are just giving me grief here. Let's see if that could go in there. I think that looks better. Yeah, so that you can go on the mail out list. So this week is Easter. Friday. I have Friday and Monday off, so I'm hoping to get caught up in some videos. So I'm thinking the pencil can go kind of like that, as if it just wrote that I love you. And this pencil is so stinking cute. Kind of like that maybe. Okay, and then I want to put another little, so these little butterflies that I'm putting down, I just have a little punch, and I think I got it at the dollar store. So I just punched out a bunch of these from just some gold, some metallic paper. And maybe let's put, you can never have too many butterflies, can you? And for this little challenge, you can use whatever you want. Like don't, you're not limited. It's just a way for us to be kind of creative together. What if I put another little heart there? I think that would look cute. Over here, maybe. Okay, and then let's get out some of these. So I don't know, I got a lot of sequins, but these ones here are adhesive. There's a little thing on the back, so we'll use some of those. And I gotta get my tweezers. I'm not sure, I'll have to use these old ones. So I kind of thought to put, 3 of these. Oops, that one looks like it's, kind of looks like the golds wore off it. Or is that just my eyes? Some of these I've cut already. Here. So these are ones that you can get at the dollar store, and they're in a line, and if you want single ones, you've got to kind of cut them so that you can get just one. But for this one here, we'll take 3. Put those in a line. Like so. I think those just little blingy things that they catch the light. I want to put one in the center there. So here's one here. I've started to rewatch some of the Shetland. Does anybody watch Shetland? It's a crime series from the Shetland Islands, and I just love it. So I've started, I think there's 9 series now. So I've gone back to series 1, which I haven't watched in years. So I actually kind of forgot some of it, which always makes it good when you're rewatching something. Okay, so we've got that bling on there. So let's just add a little bit of glittery, because these really, when that card moves, it draws the light. Not sure what that is. Okay, so there's one. So then let's get some rivets on this one. Maybe we'll put a set of 3 down here. Chester, he's been a good boy lately. He's been very sooky though. He just wants me to stop and cuddle him all the time, and I have to tell him that this is just not possible. Or I'd never get anything done. We would just be cuddling all day long. Which is probably a good way to spend the time, but I've also been, I don't know if I've told you, but I have done a number of I've crocheted a number of lap blankets for the Cancer and the Hospice Center here in Halifax. They were looking for donations. So I'm just got 5 done now, and I think I'll do another one, and then I'll be dropping those off. So in the evening when I'm tired, I sometimes pick up the crochet hook. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so then for the back here, we'll just cut that out so that it'll fit on the wheel or wherever. You can also do, I've seen on YouTube how to make some of these Memorydex boxes. Just make a box and then get some 1/4-inch dowel. So that might be a project I might think about if I don't like this wheel thing. Or like I said, you don't even need to do this. Just get a box and do some index cards, or cut out just some paper and just do some mini collages. And as the weeks kind of add up, you'll have a nice little collage box. And people say, well, so what? Then you have a collage box. But I find that it's just doing it that helps my mental health, and I just sometimes have this, I don't know, like this drive to create things. Do you guys feel that way sometimes too? Like you just need to go and do something like this. I don't know, maybe I'm just an oddball. So it's the process as much as the end result. But I do like going back in some of my journals and projects and looking at them, and it just makes me happy, or showing my friends and it makes them happy. Okay, so we've got the Memorydex cards done. So when they go on to the memory, however, for this one here, the wheel, they will show up like this. Okay, so if you didn't have this, I guess it is going to be upside down for you. But you could always, I don't know, you could always just take that off, I guess. But anyways, that's the way that this set is going to go, is like that. Okay, so that's going to be a giveaway. And then, so then I wanted to do the Rolodex. And with the Rolodex, it's going to be more mixed media, grunge. You know, it's not going to be a lot of glitter and stuff like that. That's what I'm going to use on the Memorydex. So I've already put some coffee dyed paper on the back of that, and I've already started to do a little collage on this one. So with the background with this, I just went to my scrap bin, and just started going through some of my scraps, and that's what I have for my background. Okay, and then for the love, I decided to do a phrase, and I thought this was really good, and it says, "For love is the beauty of the soul." And I really believe that. I think that love is just the beauty of the soul. That's very deep. And then for my stamp, my postage stamp, I wanted to put one of the stamps that Joy had sent. Thank you, Joy, from Australia. She sent both of these ones, and I just absolutely love them. So I wanted to use those. And then I just pulled a bunch of bits and bobs that I had already. Some of these were from DigiKits that I had cut out, or things that I've stamped myself. And then I have, oops, I just poked myself with my pokey tool. And then I brought a bunch of stamps out so that we can do some stamping too. So my thing is blinking. Just hang on a second. I gotta see if, I wonder if that means I'm running out. My battery might be running out, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on the video, and if it runs out, then I'll stop and fix it and come back. Okay, so we've got a bunch of stuff here, and I thought I would just start with doing a bit of collage on this one too, because again, I want to do another one that I can put with the mail out. And this is kind of cool. It says history. And with this, it's just getting it down. I think that this, for me, is just going to be a nice, easy, you know, I don't want to overthink anything, or I just want to take my word and my prompt and just sit down and play a little bit with you guys. That's what it's all about. All right, let's see what else. So I've got some lined paper. Oh, I've got this little calendar thing. I've got some little lines from there, but we already have some lines. I've got this Tim Holtz thing, but I put it on there too, and I think I might, actually, I've got my gesso here. For me, that's just a little bit too bright. So I'm just going to use a little bit of my Bob Ross here, good old Bob Ross. And I'm just going to dab that with a little bit of gesso, just to push it back some. It's too dark black. And then just so that things blend a bit more, I'll just pop some gesso just around the rest of it here, my finger. A little bit down there on the calendar. Okay, and we'll just let that one dry. It doesn't take very long for that to dry. But I think that's a bit too dark, and I probably won't use gesso on this one. But I will use this calendar bit. And so I'm just going to cut the month off and just use the numbers. I have this thing for numbers. I'm a weirdo in that I always loved math. So I was good in science, but I was also artsy-fartsy. So I loved physics. It was one of my favorite. All right, what else are we going to use here? So I got some of this for maybe, and I do have a bit of that. Oh, I do have some vellum with some writing on it. That's good because it's translucent, so the background will come through. Just a bit of this. I printed that myself just onto some vellum, or some tracing paper. If you're going to do tracing paper, you need to adhere it to a piece of standard paper, or it won't go through the machine. What else? Well, let's start with that. Okay, so I've got a few things here. So let's just put some of this down. I just use Elmer's glue, and it seems to hold for me. Maybe the cut and paste, it takes me back to my childhood, because I loved being in school and doing arts and crafts. One of my very oldest memories that I can think of from school was in kindergarten, and we made apple jelly. And I couldn't believe that you could do that. I thought everything was sort of bought at the store. My mother wasn't really, she could cook and bake, but it just wasn't her thing. Probably because it wasn't my grandmother's thing either. So, you know, I think you sometimes grow up with what you are what you grow up with, I guess, if that makes sense. My dad's mother, now she was your typical grandmother. She was the one that taught me how to knit. She didn't crochet much. She baked. You know, she was, you know, just that person. The white hair. Such great memories. Okay, and gosh, I can't believe that here we are, middle of April. We were discussing our vacations. So at work, you can take pretty much any time, well, except for around Christmas time, but you just have to have somebody else to cover you. So we'd made up a little calendar at work. So I've got a few days in July again, and Bobby and I are planning on going back to PEI because we love it. So Prince Edward Island is Anne of Green Gables. That's where she's from. And although she did spend time in Halifax too. So we've already got a place booked for there. So Norma, we're coming back your way again. I haven't heard from you lately, Norma. Is everything okay? I'll have to check into it. Okay, so we've got our background now. So I'm just going to cut. I'm going to go around the corners a little bit. Okay, so then once you get the background, if you kind of use the same formula, you do your background, and then on top of the background, any kind of gesso that you might want to do. And then you start to do stenciling or stamping. So on this one, I'm not going to stencil anything, but I am going to do some light stamping. And then we think about our focal points. So I've got 2 of these here. This one's still a little bit damp. I'm only going to put, actually, I did this on my, Letra tag, Dymo. So I'll put one on the second one too. Okay, let's cut this out. And we'll get this down. Ooh. I had this dream the other night that I was on my bicycle. I love being on a bicycle. It just brings me such joy. But I was on this bicycle, and I was just, I don't know, I was just so happy. I was biking along the ocean. Maybe that's what was making me happy. All right, what did I just do with that? Huh, did I just throw that out? Probably. I'd have to do that again. Am I looking at that? I just did I have 2 of these. And oh, there it is. God, right underneath my eyeballs. I couldn't, it was up on the side, and the way I was angling it, I couldn't see it at all. Okay, so we've got those. Let's do a little bit of, let's get rid of some of this stuff here. And we're going to do a little bit of background stamping. So I do like to stamp off. And I'm thinking that postage stamp is our prompt. So I've got some little postage stamp things there. And I've just pulled out, I want to do some letters, some words, some script. I've got this one here. I got this, I think, at Temu. And I'm just going to use my hands to just do a little bit of stamping. Because I love, love, love stamping. And the way that it looks, it just blends right into your background. I do use wipes to clean off my stamps when I can. So I'll just wipe that off and stick that back on here. So I like how that looks. And then I'm thinking that I'd like to get some more postage stamps. Maybe some of these little dots. That would look good. Like so. Kind of in the background. And some of this might actually end up underneath the images, but that's okay. It's all the fun of doing it. So we've got that. All right, so let's think about our some images on the top to that. So I've pulled a few things here. So for one of these, I'm just going to use just some other stamps, but for mine, just because I'm sentimental and I want to keep my Happy Mail stuff. I like both of these so much. I can't decide. But I think I'm going to be doing probably a lot of stuff with butterflies. And I actually have some butterfly stamps here. So I'm going to save that one. And I'm going to use this one here. I love this. So I'm just going to cut along a little bit here just to cut it out a little bit. But I want to keep a little bit of that jagged edge, I think. Like so. And I'm just going to distress this one. I might actually just cut this a little bit closer. Sirens everywhere right now. Something's going on. Okay, so I'm going to get that down. I think I might just round that edge a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so we got our postage stamp. And then I just thought I would do a little bit of collage. Which postage stamp? I think on this one here, I will do the butterflies and this little hot air balloon. It says adventure. Gosh, there's a lot of sirens. I live in a part of Halifax that is generally quiet. I don't usually hear a lot of sirens and noise and stuff. And I like it that way. I'm a rather quietish person. All right. Fire truck too. Maybe there's a car accident. Isn't that hot air balloon just really, really cute? So let me put that down kind of there. Okay, and then I kind of like that mushroom too. And then maybe this apple. Oh no, I know. Put the mushrooms there and then a flower. Or would that look kind of silly? What's this? I've got some tickets. We could put the tickets down there. And then layer the mushrooms like that. Just think we need, could do that. Oh, here's some sideways mushrooms. Now that's going to work. There was just too much going this way. So let's take this one. But before we put this down, I've got this old piece of scrap that I think I'm going to put down. I did a bunch, I took some coffee dyed paper and I just did a bunch of just different stamping things. Oops. This is going to be a long video. I do apologize for you guys if you like the shorter videos. And then we're going to put our thing there. And I think that's good. So let's get our little flower down. Flowers are good this time of year. I like looking at flowers because it just makes me think about new beginnings or starting now. It's a good time in the spring, I think, to air out parts of my house and life that kind of need a spring clean. It's a good time for starting something new, especially when there's so much energy of life around you. Okay, so I might end up adding something to that. I could have put a little bit of washi tape there or something else, but I'm looking at the time. All right, so I might add something to that card. So that's the card that's going to go out. And then this one here is my card from Joy. And I'm thinking I'll put the mushroom on that one. Or possibly this background. Nope. Oh, I do want to do some more stamping. That's why it's looking naked. Maybe this little one can go up here. That can go kind of that way. And then I do want to get an apple on mine because I've been obsessed right now with eating an apple. Kind of liking that. So let's just get this one down. I have hostas out in the front of my house, quite a few, and they've just last year just went a little bit too berserk. So I decided that I'm going to try to, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it myself, but I'm going to try and get at least, so there's 5 there, but they just look like this big massive jungle stuff. So I want to take out a couple and maybe make room for something else. Like I said, it's springtime. It's time to kind of go through your stuff. So look, but here's a great big apple, which I kind of like that because then I could cut off the leaves. But I want the apple to show. So I could take this off and move this along here a bit. Put my apple there. Yeah. Oops, one of my leaves broke off. So I could put that like right there. Because I want to see the Australia and I want to see my flower. Although, actually I'm not going to use the mushrooms. So much indecision. I like these little birds. So I'm I'm going to use these little birds instead, like so. Yeah, that's much better. And then I can put my apples there, my apple. And I go between, I choose apples by, when I pick it up, there's no waxy feel to it. It has to feel crisp, because I like a nice crisp apple. And that's what I've been having kind of for my lunch lately, is an apple. Now that leaf is right in his head. I don't want that to happen. So, I'm going to move this just a tad. That's better. Okay, so I'm liking that one. Love it. And then I could add something there, but I just want to do a little bit of stamping before we go. I think I'm going to add a butterfly after, though. I'm going to do the stamping first and then put the butterfly. So I'm going to go back to some of these little stamps, and I want to put, this one here says positive postage. So I want to add that one, because we all want to have some positive vibes coming your way. Like there. Awesome. Okay, so we've got our, I'll wash that later. We got our positive postage. So we need a few squiggly lines of cancellation for there. And then what about, we need just a few little things. We could have a little bit more script. So this is a different script over top of here. Like so, and over top of that. See, that kind of draws it together, I think. Like so. Well, I think that's kind of cute. I don't think there was anything else. We could distress around there, but I think we'll stop there just for the sake of time. So there is our little Rolodex one. So I can put this one in here. And I'm actually going to write on the back, I think I'll write on the back about the stamp from Joy and how it made me feel. Maybe I'll use the back as a little journal space. I think that would be awesome. Just do some little lines, and oh, that's what I'm going to do, and make that as a little journal space. I'm going to do the same on the back of this. I'll just draw some little lines, and if you want to use it as a journal card, if not, you can cover it over. But that's it. So those are our cards, our little collages for today. So I hope you really liked that. I do hope there is some interest in doing, maybe doing the challenge. Even if you don't want to do every week, that's fine. But it'll just be a little something that you could be crafty. And just to repeat again, that's for the Facebook group where we can post our projects and stuff, and where you can find the prompts, or I can email you the prompts. So if you're not on Facebook, that's fine, because I know a lot aren't. But if you want me to email you this, I can email it to you. And again, it's Mich Crafty Community and my address, and I'll leave this in the description box below. So I do hope you've had a nice little crafty time, because I've really enjoyed my time with you. But until we meet again, I do hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.